right, StreamYard says that we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Show here on channel. What is this again? Oh, Unlimited Media. That's right. So it's a Zoo here on channel. What is this again? Oh, Unlimited Media. That's right. All right. And so far tonight, we have with us the Kingpin himself. How you like, David?
What's happening, man?
Not too much, man. Not too much. And then next we have Mr. Bucks Family. How are you, night, sir?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
Not too bad. Still have not solved the mystery of the disappearing fish, but I will get to the bottom of this. Maybe.
I still think the cat got it.
There's no way the cat could have got it.
I think he got his paw in that little thing and got it.
Ain't no way.
Where'd it go? Where'd it fucking go? Tell me where it went.
I don't know where your fish went.
When I was in elementary school, my friend Shane.
If they found it dead in there, but for it not to be in there at all.
What were you going to say, Kingpin?
When I was in elementary school, my friend Shane lived walking distance to the school, so he was a walker. And one day, I was able to go over his house and hang out after school. No, it was on the weekend. My mom dropped me off there on a Saturday. And the only rule that he had was close his bedroom door because he had fish in his room. And he had a cat. And if the cat got in his room, it would eat his fish. So I left the door open when we went out to ride bikes. And his cat came in there and ate his fish. So for the next 12 years, even graduation day, I walked up to him and said, "Sorry about your fish, Shane."
Yeah, she insists that somehow the kitten got the fish out of the aquarium. It was a cat-proof aquarium. The only way the cats were getting in that thing is if they knocked it off of the stand. That they weren't going to get that lid open.
Yeah, his cat just hopped on his bed, hopped on his dresser, knocked the lid off, pawed until he caught the fish and ate it.
Yeah, the way this one's made, they can't just knock it off. She insists that the teeniest little opening that was in there for the filter, the aerator part of the filter to go down into the aquarium is how the kitten got his little paw in there. There's no way.
That's where it says.
Where?
The little front hole. It has about this big wide that you put the food down in.
He could not get that open enough to get his paw in there to get that fish.
Where'd it go?
I don't know, but there's no way he got the fish out of the aquarium that way. It's made so that they can't.
I should bring you the back cup. It wasn't in the pineapple. It wasn't anywhere.
I know. Christ. See what I've been putting up with for the past few days because she can't find her fish?
The cat ate the fish.
The cat couldn't get to the fish. That's the problem. No,
I
the cat.
blame Jason. He ain't in here, so I'm blaming him.
He says the fish is caught up in the filter. No, she completely broke down the aquarium. The fish is not in the aquarium anywhere, including the filter.
But wait, you guys got young kids.
No, we got older kids. You met our oldest daughter, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You still got kids in the house. So have you interrogated the kids? One day the kids came home and saw the fish was floating upside down.
No, they didn't.
They pawned it out and flushed it, and I was like, I don't know what happened to the fish. Maybe the cat ate it.
No, they didn't do that. That's not what happened.
Did you do that, Rich?
No. She came down telling me the fish was gone one day. I was like, wait, what? She's like, yeah, it's gone. It's not in the aquarium. I'm like, what? I went upstairs with the flashlight. I'm looking through the aquarium, and it's like, where the hell's that goddamn fish? So we're thinking maybe if that got into the little, she had one of those ceramic pineapples in there. And we thought maybe it got in there and died because it would sleep in there. So we thought maybe it was in there and it died and floated to the top and it's sleeping. But because of the way those pineapples are, where the top part, the green part is, it's hollow there, so we thought maybe it floated up in there and didn't go all the way to the top. She broke down that whole aquarium, and it wasn't in there. It wasn't anywhere. It's just gone. There were no other fish, Jason. It was a single fish aquarium. It was a beta.
Is it
And
possible that the fish jumped out and is
no,
flopped his way underneath a couch or a bed or something?
no. The way the lid is, it couldn't jump out. It's cat proof and it's made so the fish can't jump out of it. There was no way that it got out of there that way either. That's the mystery. We cannot figure out what happened to this fish. It just vanished. It's like it was abducted by aliens.
I think it died. Y'all threw it away. It didn't. Oh,
Kingpin typed in the chat that there never was a fish.
so what happened to my bed?
There was a fish, Kingpin.
I know exactly what happened.
In the trash.
This is it. I know. I solved it.
Okay, what's your theory?
Rich took him out to let him swim in a big toilet bowl.
Yeah,
And
no.
his wife came in, shocked him, surprised him, and he flushed it.
Yeah, interesting theory, but no, it's not what happened either. MKJL says that the fish ate itself. Yeah, like Pizza the Hut, exactly, Kingpin. But no, that's not what happened. This is why we're stumped. I would say the Mothman came and got the fish, but we're in the wrong part of West Virginia, and we all know the Mothman moved that to Washington. No, there's no snails or anything in the tank. It was just the fish by himself. That was it, with some plants. That's all it was in there, and the ceramic pineapple. That was it. There was no other living organism in that aquarium. That's why this is such a mystery. I mean, I could see if there was more than one fish in there and it died, and there was some kind of when the fish was like a predatory thing and it ate the fish, because I've seen that before, where all you'll find is like maybe a speck of a tail or something in the aquarium after the other fish. But that's not even possible because there are no other fish in there. And I think that might have been where he was going when asking with the snails. No birds. And the birds would have been like cats anyway. They wouldn't have been able to get the aquarium open. Nothing like that.
Maybe the bird and the cat work together.
We don't have any birds.
You don't know that? Y'all probably gone somewhere and the damn bird flew in the house.
Kingpin, that fish is so small it wouldn't even make a whole fish stick. It would be like an eighth of a fish stick. This is one of those fish that's the size of one of those ones where you go somewhere for a promotional thing and the guy's like swallowing goldfish. It's that size fish. You couldn't even make a fish stick out of that thing. To fillet it, you would need a freaking microscope.
You're on, Kingpin.
I'll get Rick to help me figure out how to butcher a goldfish.
Well, this thing's smaller than a goldfish. You need one of the fillet it. You would need one of those eyepieces like the jewelers use, or watchmakers, or whatever. But anyway, oh, there's Jason.
Hey,
Hello.
have y'all moved to your new house yet?
Hell no, we didn't buy that place.
Oh, I was going to say maybe y'all moved and forgot the damn fish.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we ran into some issues when we went to do the final walkthrough on that house, so we pulled back out of buying that.
Is the fish laying on the floor behind the fish tank?
No, because behind the fish tank's a solid wall.
Rich
Yeah, but I had plenty of them that just found a way to somehow right where the filter sits in or the lid jump out and
Yeah,
it
it
ended up
couldn't.
on the floor
Yeah,
behind.
there was no way for it to jump out like that. The way this aquarium's made, the fish absolutely cannot jump out.
Rich is gonna find this fish in one of his packed up boxes in about 2 months.
Yeah, right. But at that point, it might be fish jerky. If that were the case.
Um, you know those little they call them Baja sharks, but they're not really a shark because they got scales on them.
Yeah,
They basically look like a
they
minnow.
look like they look like a shark, but I think they're actually in the minnow family.
Yeah. Um, I used to have some of those in a tank, and uh, I was getting ready for a day once. You know what I mean? I come back out of the shower, and I come in a bedroom to get dressed and everything. I had the computer there and a computer chair, and I was about ready to sit down, and I saw on the very, very edge of where you sit down in a computer chair, there was one of them fish just laying there, right? And I looked over at the fish tank and I got a tape measure. It was like 6.5 feet away. That fish jumped up right through just the little space where the water overflows in the filter, sits up in a,
Mm-hmm.
the lid just kind of sits around it, made it through that space up in the air and made it 6.5 feet across the room and was laying on my computer chair, man.
That's crazy.
So they can find a way to
Well, betas
zoom
aren't
and jump.
jumpers. Yeah, betas aren't jumpers. They're the ones where you go into the fish store, or they used to have them in Walmart, and they would have like the little glass bowl with the fancy looking fish in it.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah, they're not.
don't
Yeah,
put
they're
two
not.
together.
No, don't put two together. But yeah, they're not jumpers. They don't jump like that. So that's not the issue either.
Those are the Japanese fighting fish. You can't put two of them together.
Siamese fighting fish, and that's what a beta is. The beta is what they used to call Siamese fighting fish. But that's
Yeah,
racist now.
those aren't exactly the size of minnows. Those are, pretty ornate fish, which are hard to miss if they're anywhere.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
long flowing fins and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And
Once
that's
they're
what.
out of the water, they all turn black. So
No, betas breathe air, so I mean, they can survive a good while out of water.
Not that long. I mean, they leave them in them cups in Walmart, which a bunch of activists, including myself, think is pretty nasty. That you leave a fish on a shelf in a cup for 12 hours, 14 hours, 24 hours.
That's because they don't need aerated water like other fish. They'll when you see one of them swim up to the top, they're taking a gulp of air.
Yeah, I know. I know. I've had them before. I just like to bitch about the fact that they keep them like crap in them stores.
Yeah, they keep them in those little bowls. When my wife got hers, it was in like a little, the bowls that you get at the deli that they put like ham salad or something in. It was like that kind of bowl with a hole cut in the middle of it.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, around here you get big plastic, basically clear Solo cups, and they're just on the shelf with a little piece of like saran wrap or something over the top.
Yeah, you used to get them. If you remember back when we were kids, you used to get them in like a little glass, looked like a goldfish bowl. But they don't even do that anymore. Like those little globe-shaped bowls. Now it's just plastic crap that they put them in. Yeah, that's not so much that they hop from puddle to puddle. That's more like they do a crawl and a little skip. They don't jump like what the kind of jumping Jason's talking about.
I feel bad for you, Rich, because I really hate it when a pet runs away.
Yeah, it's crazy when your fish runs away.
It should make you pause and reflect about yourself as an owner.
No, it wasn't my fish.
Wait a second. The feminists always used to say that a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Are you missing a bike, Rich?
No, at least not, especially not that small.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not missing any Barbie-sized bikes. Well, even that would be too big. We're not missing any little GI Joe-sized bikes. Now I think about it, that might be too big too. And we're not missing any bikes that have dime-sized tires.
Are you missing any luggage?
No. It's not like the Pink Panther cartoon where the fish packs his bags and walks out on Pink Panther.
Yeah, are you missing any money or prescription medication?
No. And no, we found no evidence of the fish being a meth head either. Or a crackhead or a heroin addict. None of that stuff.
See what happens when you name your fish Jimmy Hoffa?
Was it you telling me about spraying Febreze on the meth balls?
Yeah, no, not Febreze. Spray starch. You know, like spraying starch. Yeah, that kind of stuff. KTO says we've been talking about your beta fish for a while. It's great. Yeah, we've been talking about this goddamn fish for like 16 minutes now.
Hey man, it's the current news, tragedy.
Yeah. Yeah, I should change the crawler from We Talk Rasslin to We Talk Beta Fish.
You didn't happen to have any of those white supreme Trump supporters in your neighborhood recently, have you?
No. Mm-mm. See, me and Rick were talking about it earlier, and he brought up, what about the maintenance guy? The maintenance guy stole the fish.
I wouldn't just be so quick to judge that cat as innocent, though. I'll just tell you that.
Have y'all started up a new beta fish fight yet? Has anybody started one of those up?
Yeah, next week could be beta wrestling.
Yeah.
What is this? Speaking of, what kind of liberal are you, man? Why don't you have an alpha fish? What's all this beta stuff about?
Hey, I didn't name the goddamn things.
Rich might be going soft on us, boys.
Yeah.
Literally liberal.
That's the last time I buy you food. I'll tell you what.
It's a pretty tasty burger.
Hey, that's the second time I bought you a burger, by the way.
Indeed, it is.
Next time, Kingpin, it'll probably be all vegetable, all plant based.
I'm not Rob. I'm not going to give him a salad and tell him it's a cheeseburger. Anyway, that was this show supposed to be about anyway. We're talking about fish.
Talking about my fish flushed down the pool.
I did not flush your damn fish. See what you started?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He wants to see how fast he wants to swim in circles.
You know, she can't hear a single one of you. That's great. This is great.
The logical explanation is the fish died. Somebody in the house found it and took care of it. And they just don't want to tell you and hurt your feelings.
I think it's worse if they don't tell her at this point if that's what happened.
Well, you see, now you got them stuck in a difficult place. They didn't want to tell you because they didn't want to hurt your feelings. Now they don't want to tell you and let you know that they lied to you when they didn't know what happened. So, it sucks, man, but time will heal a broken heart.
All right. I think it's time to move on from this fish. We've been talking about this for 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
You're welcome.
There's a question out there for Jason. I don't know if you can see the chat or not, Jason.
Okay, the Stahl's Automotive Foundation. Are you meaning the Stahl Truck Bed Company?
Now we're going to talk about cars for 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. I see that he's talking about. So it must be like a museum type people.
Yeah.
No, I do not know what it is, but we were manufacturing, the industrial truck beds, the work truck beds stall. We used to build those real close to here, and I had friends that worked there. But Warren Buffett, the planet's richest man or whatever. He came in, bought the company, ran it completely into the ground to where all the customers pulled their contracts. All the pickup trucks were lined up, thousands of them in a row with no beds on them, waiting to have beds put on. All those people pulled their vehicles back from, ran the place completely into the ground. Stopped welding them together, started huck bolting them together. They fell apart in the fields. Customers were not happy, and he ran that company in the dirt and then put them out, fired 90% of all the employees, and then opened the place back up with a bunch of temporary workers, a bunch of illegal aliens, and cut the pay in half and started the company all over again. The richest man on the planet decided just to come here and screw up a little small town's employment for his own benefit.
That's how he became the richest man on the planet.
Yeah.
That's called those monsters call it venture capitalism. But I mean, you could think of any other vampirism or whatever. That's how Mitt Romney made all of his money. George Soros had a whole bunch of money before he started doing it, so he was able to do it to countries instead of companies. So that's how he made all his money.
Yeah. Soros was wanted in France until that stupid asshole they got over there in charge over there. Can never remember the guy's name, but he let him off the hook and dropped all the charges against him.
Emmanuel Macron.
Yeah,
fromage and cheese.
Yeah. Omelette du fromage. Yeah, Dexter's Laboratory. Fell asleep listening to Learn to Speak French tape, and he wakes up the next day and all he can say in the one episode is Omelette du fromage. That show was a classic. Back when Cartoon Network was still worth a damn. Yeah. But, Berkshire Hathaway, if you look at their history, that's all they do. That's all they do.
Yeah, same with Bain Capital.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bain Capital's the reason Toys R Us went out of business.
Yeah, you buy a company that's struggling, destroy it, and then somehow make a profit off of it.
Yeah, Bain Capital did it to KB Toys, Circus World. Before them, if you remember Circus World was a chain that was a competitor of KB directly. They were the two stores that would be in the mall. They destroyed both of them, and then they destroyed Toys R Us. So, yep. Yeah, Bain Capital, that's a great company. And Mitt Romney's a dick anyway. We all know that. Fucking diaper wearing piece of shit. Anyway, let's get off the politics. Let's talk about wrestlers who are not very good people. Let's get back on what this show's supposed to be about. There's some firings from NXT this week that are pretty interesting. You had one of their top referees fired for being an overall douchebag and trying to politic and connive his way into other people's jobs. And they had enough of him, and they let him go, deservedly so. He was one of those little weaselly douchebags in high school that you'd want to beat the shit out of, according to what some people described him as. And then the other major firing that came out of NXT this week is one that I'm surprised didn't happen sooner. The wrestler known as Velveteen Dream has been in trouble for a while now. It started last year, right after COVID hit. He had got in an automobile accident, thanks to what rumored being intoxicated, but don't know what exactly he was intoxicated on. But he was adjudicated for it, had to pay a fine and everything. So they suspended him with pay, or without pay, excuse me, while after that happened. And while that was going on, there was a bunch of people that came out accusing wrestlers of various things. And he happens to be one of the ones that gets accused of something, because apparently, according to reports, he sent naked pictures of himself to minors, and the minors were not girls. And the parents supposedly found out about this, and they came forward with it. But when WWE went and asked the police what was going on with the investigation, the police said they heard nothing about it, so they didn't do anything. Unlike some of the other independents that fired people just based on the allegations, WWE actually went to the police and found out if they knew anything. Since there was no police investigation, they didn't take any action against him at that time officially. But since that time, he has been used very sporadically. The last time he wrestled on TV was back in December. Excuse me. And he hadn't been used at all in any event this year.
I'm sorry. What wrestler are we speaking of?
His name was Velveteen Dream. That was his stage name. He basically his gimmick was to be a copy of Prince. He was doing it as an homage to Prince, but he was supposed to be like a Prince type character.
Sounds more like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, right. You could be more on the money there, but but apparently, from what things that have come out since they fired him, he's also been a pain in the ass backstage. Like, you've had photographers that do the publicity shots and magazine shoots and everything. What the painter that does or the artist that does like the paintings for on the toy packaging and stuff like that, and drew some of the mock-ups for the video games and stuff, said he was the biggest pain in the ass to work with. Yeah, MK Joe says that he started out in Maryland Championship Wrestling. Yeah, he was local to this area when he was starting out. But yeah, apparently he was a major pain in the ass, and so he got fired too. So those are two big stories that came out of NXT this week.
So, all right, let's go with the referee thing first. What is this guy accused of doing? Just trying to claw his way to the top?
Through nefarious means. He was spreading rumors about people and that weren't true and other such things like that. And they finally had enough of him and they fired him.
All right, that's cool. I can get behind that.
Check your email.
Every time I turn my microphone on, my phone goes off.
So yeah, you had one guy who was a complete creep in one way and another guy that was a complete creep in another way, and both of them got fired, essentially. So. Now, like I said, the referee, one person put it that he's the kid in high school that everybody wanted to beat the crap out of because he was always trying to slime his way into different positions, finagle his way to do this and that. And, yeah.
And this other guy did what? The wrestler guy did what?
Let's see. Driving while intoxicated, the substance that was used was not released.
That's iffy. That's a matter of objective opinion.
Well, they have a contract clause where, just like they do in the NFL and everything, where if you do something and it looks bad on the promotion, they can fire you for that. So they actually are covered if they would have fired him back then, but they only suspended him without pay in that instance. The second one, supposedly, but the police can't confirm, that he sent naked pictures of himself to, I believe it was 3 boys who were under the age.
So why can't the police confirm that? How's that?
Because the parents never filed any charges on him, so the police never police themselves never investigated it because it was never reported to them.
So seeing how it's reported to them now, why don't they go investigate it now?
Well, the parents still have not actually filed a police report. The other reason why WWE found out about it is because the kid said something about it, and the parents never reported it, so there's no actual police investigation going on at this time.
Okay, technicality, still
Yeah,
innocent.
technicality, but
Yeah, it seems to be.
it's a pattern of behavior is what happened, because then you got where he that was harassing the photographer and the artist and all these other people. It's a pattern of behavior is why he was finally let go. They had big plans for this guy before his accident and everything. He was being pushed. He would already been one of the champions in NXT, and he was about to get pushed up to doing a program where he was going to be going for the NXT title. And at that same time, boom, he was dropped from that whole plan was dropped. And this is a whole history of behavior kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, now that it's a story and it's out there in the public, I don't care about the guy losing his job. I'm glad. I'm glad. You be fired. I hope you never get a job if it's true. Why don't the police open their own investigation? I don't think you needed to wait for somebody to report child pornography.
No, it wasn't child pornography. It was distributed. It would have been distributing pornographic material to a child, but they have found no evidence. They can't find anything, and it's one of those situations where the parents don't actually participate in the investigation, and that there's going to be very hard to find any evidence.
All right, okay, I got you now.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. If nobody goes to the police are sitting there twiddling their thumbs because there's not much they can do about it.
Yeah,
it's hard to it's hard to go to a judge and ask for a search warrant when you have no basis for the search warrant.
Yeah, I got caught up in a situation once like that, man. It's not a whole lot of fun, but see, they couldn't charge me with sending pictures to a minor because I was the minor sending them to an adult. So I kind of just fell in the gray area of the law, and they couldn't do anything to me.
Yeah. MJO says, having inappropriate communications with underage boys and grooming them amidst the speaking out movement. Yeah, the speaking out movement's when you had people coming out of the woodwork accusing different wrestlers of different things, and some of those wrestlers were let go by the organization they were working for and have since been exonerated, I might add. The one guy that has never officially been exonerated of anything is Velveteen Dream. And that's simply because the parents aren't cooperating on that situation and they're not filing any charges or anything. So there's no way to know if what the boys said happened or not. Whereas everybody else has been able to prove what they were being accused of didn't happen. It was basically, with most of the people that were involved, it was kind of like the Ben Roethlisberger thing years ago, where you had the girl come out saying Roethlisberger raped her, but then she texted her friend how she just had sex with Ben Roethlisberger and was all proud of it and everything, which completely destroyed their case. And then the one in Atlanta where it was basically the same kind of thing with where somebody else tried to accuse them of something, and it was like, that's not what happened there either. In either case, the prosecutors didn't go with it because they didn't believe either one of the people making the claims because there was evidence showing that they were both lying. In this case, there's no evidence either way to prove if it happened or not.
Have you watched the clickbait videos? Look what happened to these 5 wrestlers. Or whatever, showing some of the legal troubles and life troubles of some of the former wrestlers.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of those out there on YouTube.
Yeah,
I just watched one recently and ran down some very troubling times from some of the wrestlers, but one of them they highlighted was remember Sunny?
Oh yeah, she went into pornography and stuff. Yeah.
Oh boy, she doesn't look the same today.
No.
And she's got a life record of not very good.
Yeah, drugs, pornography.
Well, the alcohol.
Drugs,
man,
alcohol.
she has got DUI after DUI after DUI. I mean, on just so many of them you never heard of it. And I thought it was funny they mentioned one. So she's had so many DUIs, you don't have driver's license anymore. Well, she keeps driving. They pull her over, drunk driving again, charge her or whatever, whatever town she was in. for like her 7th or 8th DUI, and then she never goes to court for it, and then she gets caught 6 months later driving DUI again, and they're like, well, we just got you for DUI, you didn't even show up to court. She claimed, well, I'm a drunk, I don't remember getting arrested.
She probably doesn't.
Yeah, she probably did. I mean, but that's just bad, man. Her life is really went.
That's one of the reasons why.
Terrible,
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they let her go in WWE is because of her drug and alcohol addiction. She refused to get help, so they let her go. They couldn't have her working and doing the stuff that they were doing with the condition that she would come to work in. Remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about Jeff Hardy, where he was in the one match and he was stoned out of his goddamn mind. She would come into work in WWE towards the end of the Attitude Era in worse shape than Jeff Hardy did for that match.
Yeah, I've watched some of those videos. A lot of the wrestlers struggled with pills, medication, alcohol. That stemmed from an injury.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and just kind of spiraled out of control and just ended up destroying their lives. Outside of the ring and their relationships and everything.
Yeah, that was a quite common occurrence back. I mean, look how many times Ric Flair's been married.
Woo!
Yeah, and the best one is still the last one where his last divorce. He was the one that filed for divorce because he was the one being abused, and his wife still took him to the cleaners, which is why he had to keep wrestling.
99% of these people are horrible, horrible human beings. So, I mean, I would never take life advice from Ric Flair on anything.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Do you imagine Ric Flair standing there? Oh, go ahead.
I'm done, so.
Do you imagine Ric Flair standing there getting married, and do you take this woman to be your wife? And he'd look at her and just go, woo! See him strutting down the aisle,
Yeah.
Jet flying, limousine driving, strutting down the...
Styling and profiling. Woo!
You think people that get married 3, 4, 5 times stop saying the death to us part, part?
If they're being honest.
Till death do we part.
On like the 4th marriage, this is like, hey, you guys want to be married for a while? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do too. There you go.
Next week they file for divorce.
Are you willing to try him again for another shot? I do.
Oh, now you're getting into Elizabeth Taylor and Richard
try
Burton.
It one more time with her? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but Liz Taylor and Richard Burton there. How many times were they married? Like 3?
Man, it's not for us to judge.
I think
you
I'm
can't
done
help
after
who you
the
love.
first one.
What was that, Buck?
I said I'm done after the first one. Ain't gonna be no remarried. Not to the same woman anyway.
Ain't gonna be no rematch.
Mm-hmm. This ain't professional wrestling. I'm not signing that contract again.
I've only dated one girl twice in my life.
Oh man. So there might be one guy I would listen to for life advice, at least on fitness, and that'll be DDP. That guy seems like he's a genuine dude, and he's helped a bunch of wrestlers kick their habits and stuff. Like Scott Hall and Jake Roberts. Neither one of those guys might be alive today if it wasn't for DDP. So, from all reports, DDP is a genuinely good person. And the reason why he's not married to Kimberly anymore from back in WCW is because she cheated on him. But I guess that's what happens when you marry a former Playmate centerfold, or Playboy centerfold.
Yeah, I watched him in House of a Thousand Corpses, man. He didn't seem like a very nice guy then.
That was a movie, Jason. So yeah, there's multiple former wrestlers that have had issues, drug related or physical or alcohol, and his program with using the yoga and the not the mentoring, but the therapeutic, the psychological therapy and stuff that he gets them and stuff. He's saved a few of their lives. They'll tell you they credit him for saving their life, or else they've been dead in a gutter somewhere. No, he is. No, that amazing. No, he's not MKJO, and it's a travesty that he's not. This man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
I always thought he was.
Nope, DDP is not in the Hall of Fame.
Maybe he's been up there introducing people.
Yeah, he's
Maybe that's what I remember.
yeah, he's inducted somebody, but he himself is not in the Hall of Fame. Stacy's out there. Hello.
Hi, Stacy. Come on in, Stacy.
She doesn't have
maybe I made this up just now, but it might be a thing. If I made it up just now, then it sounds fun anyway. But doesn't the WWE have some type of like beef with Diamond Dallas Page? Like, didn't he do a TV show or some type of reality show or something like that where he kind of was talking trash about wrestling and Vince McMahon and stuff? Or am I making that up?
it's a possibility because there's been a lot of guys that have, so it's entirely possible.
I feel like that's some way, one way or another, there's a beef about.
Well, I know for a fact that that's the case with Scott Steiner. I don't know, maybe you're getting the two of them mixed up, but I know for a fact that that's happened with Scott Steiner. It could possibly be the case with DDP as well. Yeah, I was going to ask Stacy where she buried Snob after last night. Is he not in the cow pasture somewhere? We all thought she was going to kill him in the after show last night. Ooh, boy, that got interesting real quick in the after show when she popped in too. Yeah, you guys only heard what happened live. But we're not going to get into all that. What happens in the after chat stays in the after chat.
well, the panel was being pretty hard on her there. They all were kind of poking and jabbing, man. I would have frying pan somebody.
She said she's waiting till after the party, maybe later tonight. It got worse. Yeah, it did. It did. Snob really stuck his foot in his mouth, to say the least.
Oh, I'm sure. I didn't get a chance to see. I mean, I watched some of the text chat, but I couldn't really watch much of the show yesterday. Whatever Stacy's problem is with Snob, she's wrong.
Oh no! No! In this case, she's absolutely right.
What I'm about to say. I know what I'm going to say, no matter what you're about to say, and I'm right. Whatever Snob did, he's innocent.
Yeah, no.
And everybody else was wrong. C4 and Obi and all them. Well, not Obi. Obi's right too. But you and Gary and Jay, anybody who was disagreeing with Stacy's wrong. But anytime Stacy was disagreeing with Snobby, she was wrong.
Not in this case.
Someone has stolen Snob's phone and trying to assume his identity in the chat.
Stacy, that's putting it mildly. She said he basically called her fat. No, that's putting it mildly. Very, very mildly. I'm not going to repeat what he said.
Man, that's
Uh-oh,
just
Kingpin.
that's
Now
just
you're in trouble.
that's just Oklahoma, sweet talk. That's all that is.
Uh-huh. And yeah, it was just bad last night. Just really bad. Oh, trust me, Kingpin. He said it in much worse phraseology than what she just said. Buck got there kissing ass. What are you kissing ass for? You weren't even there last night.
Just want to make sure. I don't want to get zapped by mistake or anything.
Oh, is that by mistake? Oh, yeah, she kind of did sneak into Snob's telling us how she could never sneak up to him in his little shack. I'm like, he's like, but I don't have the door closed. So I'm like, if you don't have the door closed now, it's too late. Next thing you know, she comes busted in his little shed with her taser. And we're like, oh shit, he's dead now.
I was waiting for it too, boy. I heard that zap.
So in other words, what you're saying is she attacked him.
And deservedly so.
That's awful strange.
Attacked is a strong statement.
Yeah, we don't have
retaliation is probably a better term.
Yeah, we never actually saw her use the taser. We just heard it go click, 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 the electric sound.
I was kind of waiting for him to be flapping around like your fish was when he jumped out the tank.
Well, no, he wasn't flopping around or anything.
No, I was waiting on it though.
Oh yeah.
I think one of these days it might happen.
Yeah, he's like, oh, she'll never be able to sneak out here. Next thing you know, there she is. I was like, yeah, she was already out. She's on her phone. She was out there already, just waiting, stalking you the whole time. She was out there before he ever started watching the security camera. Either that or he's got the worst security camera set up in the world because she just went right through the blind spot on that camera to where the camera couldn't see her. He really needs to rethink his security setup. That's for sure. And don't tell somebody that the door isn't locked.
I guarantee you, Snob went out and bought more cameras today.
I think he's spent his camera allotment for the year already. Yeah, she said that she snuck in to prove him wrong. And did so very well. Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers will be very proud of you. That was a classic. Yeah, that was a classic horror movie deal where somebody thinks they're finally safe, and then the serial killer shows up right there in their doorway, and they freak out because they forgot to lock the door. It was perfect.
Sorry, Porky.
And she timed him out twice. Oh man, what the hell were we talking about before we went on this rabbit hole?
We were talking about DDP helping former wrestlers.
Oh, I was going to say Michael Jackson.
No, that was.
Yeah, we was over him.
Yeah, we were done talking about that. Jagoff, pervert, asshole. So, yeah. DDP deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Whether he will or not remains to be seen, but they put some other people that Vince has had a beef with in the Hall of Fame lately. So, one Bret Hart comes to mind. Him and Vince weren't exactly on the best of speaking terms. In fact, Bret Hart being in the Hall of Fame was Triple H's doing. He's the one that contacted Bret Hart and set that whole thing up. For anybody who wasn't aware of that, it wasn't Vince's idea.
Okay. Can we all agree that every Hall of Fame is an absolute joke since almost 10 minutes after they invented them?
Some Hall of Fame classes leave you scratching your head. I'll give you that. But MKJL wants to know, what are the next pay-per-views? The closest one that's coming up is going to be, God damn it, Double or Nothing, I think, for AEW, and that is not this Sunday coming up, but next Sunday, if I remember correctly. And then after that, I want to say it's going to be Hell in a Cell. When it is, for some reason, they moved Hell in a Cell from near Halloween, which just seems like the perfect time to have Hell in a Cell with, the name and the pay-per-view and everything. But that's going to be in June this year for some reason. And I'm trying to think. Then Money in the Bank is going to be in July, and that's going to have a live crowd because the SmackDown show right before Money in the Bank, they're going to start. WWE is scheduled to start touring again, meaning no more using the Thunderdome and the static TV screens, basically with people on them, actual live crowds and whatnot in the arenas. AEW is scheduled to start touring soon too. I don't remember when, but it's coming up soon. I don't remember when exactly. So that's what I remember right now about what's coming up pay-per-view wise. But speaking of AEW, they made a couple of big announcements this week too. Enough, but good announcements, not bad. They're going to be adding a second television show on actual TV on TNT. It's going to be Friday nights, I believe, at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a 1-hour show, and it's going to follow the same storylines as what the main program Dynamite does. And then in January of next year, both shows, both Dynamite and the new show, are going to be moving to TBS to make way for Turner getting the rights to have the NHL games on TNT, so that they don't have conflict now like what they've been having with the NBA. They're going to be moving to TBS.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Nobody watches the NBA.
No, but they got a contract where they have to put the NBA games on TV, and
Oh, I see what you mean on the channel. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, wrestling fans aren't going to stop watching wrestling because of basketball games.
No, but there have been days where Dynamite hasn't come on till like 10, 11 o'clock at night when it's supposed to be on at 8 o'clock because it gets preempted because of a basketball game. And to avoid that same thing, when they add the NHL to TNT, they're going to move both of the AEW shows over to TBS, and AEW as compensation is going to be making an extra $800,000 a year from Turner for having been moved to TBS. Max capacity audience, MKJO asks. As max as they're allowed by wherever they're going to be at. It's like, I think right now, Pittsburgh, for example, for the NHL playoffs, they're at 50% capacity on the fans, and they're supposed to be increasing to 75% at some point, if depending on how far the Pens make it in the playoffs. So capacity, again, it's going to wholly depend on where they are. Florida, they could be doing max capacity now because Florida never had the lockdown and shit. They could have Daly's place completely packed with fans right now if they wanted to. And AEW themselves were instituted a mask thing where if you were there, you had to wear a mask. Well, they've done away with that too. It's now optional. If the fans want to wear the mask, they can wear one. If they don't, they don't. So they've changed that, and they've doubled or tripled how many people there are letting in for that. So you're seeing more people at the AEW shows as it is right now. And they're still currently the only ones that actually have real fans in attendance.
I saw some signs of normal life today, since you're talking about the crowds. I saw several places, several churches, probably having like a wedding, big wedding parties outside. All our parks were just jam packed with people and cars, and all the kids playing baseball and soccer and stuff. I saw large crowds all over the place today, and parking lots just packed full. It was a beautiful summer day here today, and the people were out and about. Nobody's not wearing their masks, and nothing's limited and shut down. It was just good to see.
Yeah, we're waiting to see if they open the swim areas at the one lake in the area, Randolph Jennings Lake, which is one that everybody here around here goes to. It's run by the Army Corps of Engineers. We're waiting to see if they open up and let people go to the swim areas. They only had one swim area, but they were scheduled to open up a new one last year. But with COVID, they didn't let anybody go swimming last year, which is stupid when you had the CDC and Fauci at that point were telling everybody to go to the beach. This is when everybody's being told to go to the beach, and they're telling they closed the one beach that's closest to here. It made absolutely no goddamn sense. But yeah, they've been having certain things around here too, so things are starting to get more back to normal. Yeah, Stacy says weddings or graduations. Yeah, can't leave out the graduations. Yeah, it's one of those things. Thank God it seems like it's nearing an end finally. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Remember what was it, 15 days? Remember, this was only supposed to last 15 days. It's been over 15 months.
Round one, brother. Round one.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
Yeah. But gotta be careful saying it was only supposed to be 15 days. Steven Crowder got a hard strike from YouTube for that one. Believe it or not, that is one of the things that he got a strike for, was just saying that this was supposed to be 15 days to flatten the curve. That is what YouTube stated they gave him a strike for. Yeah. Know where YouTube can shove that idea, right? And speaking on that, he kind of let it out of the bag that Rumble was working on live streaming. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, Rumble's behind the curve on live streaming. D-Live is making a lot of people angry really, really fast. So D-Live's having problems. Odyssey's got live streaming right now, but you have to have at least 50 subscribers on your Odyssey channel before you can live stream. And there's a little bit of wonkiness with the Odyssey live stream, but for the most part, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I forget who he said is had just given a large amount of funding to Rumble for them to work on their live streaming portion of it. He was just talking about it this week, because even though he's got his strike on YouTube, he can stream live on his website and also on the Blaze with Mug, if you have Mug Club. So he was talking about this week. He's working with Rumble And he said there's like two major backers, because big shots in the conservative movement that have just donated both of them donated a large sum of money to Rumble to help them get their live streaming sorted as an alternative to YouTube. And for the life of me, I can't remember who the hell the two guys he said were. He really couldn't say anymore because of agreements and stuff that he has with them right now. But he's in the works with something with them, and so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And with this latest set of strikes YouTube gave him, they really got him pissed off. He was never talking about working on another platform before until now.
Yeah, he did what he was supposed to do, and he got trapped into the YouTube prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
any of these other streaming platforms would have bent over backwards if Steven Crowder was like, "Hey, let me get you guys off the ground. Let's get some things moving. Let me be your guy." They'd have been like, "Yeah, of course, that'd be great."
yeah, I mean, that's millions of followers,
Wait, Salty's basically running Odyssey, and he's got 600,000 subscribers on YouTube, and Odyssey pretty much is dependent on him. So imagine what Steven Crowder could have done for a company 5 years ago, or a year ago. Like the same thing with that Putz Joe Rogan.
Well, Rogan went to Spotify.
Yeah, he sold out immediately. Well, he didn't sell out immediately. Joe Rogan's always been sold out. He just got uncovered to a bunch of normies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this Crowder thing's going to be. This could blow up in YouTube's face. This could finally be the breaking point. Everybody's wondering, when is YouTube going to reach their breaking point? They may just have.
Why? Because he's suing them.
Oh, he's suing them. Plus the working with Rumble and the massive amount of funding that Rumble just got. They could, and who it is that's backing Rumble. No, we're not talking about somebody that's only going to be able to donate maybe $1 million here or there. These are some pretty wealthy individuals that have contributed to Rumble and potentially may do so again in the future, depending on how everything goes.
So Trump bought Rumble?
No, not Trump. It wasn't Trump, but it was former associates of his in different business ventures of his, and they've done different philanthropic endeavors before as well.
Also, the Ukraine is sponsoring Rumble.
No, that would be Joe Biden.
Oh yeah, sorry, I keep getting Washington all mixed up. Sorry.
So you mean Russia then?
No, that would be Joe Biden too.
China then?
No, Joe Biden.
Iran?
Joe Biden.
Pakistan?
Joe Biden.
Afghanistan?
Joe Biden.
South Africa?
Yep, Biden again.
Now, Trump's got to be in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, Trump did visit Afghanistan that one Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, so he's got to be go feeling.
Yeah.
But then so did Barack Obama.
Yeah, but Trump was there on government business. Obama was there on, family reunion.
No, that would have been Kenya.
Taliban business.
You know, he had to get his opium stash. Come on. Come on, you know, the thing. Come on, man.
Did you see Obama? I don't know. We all know that anything. He didn't verify anything, but did you see Obama last week talking about UFOs?
But that he stepped off of one? Or was that Michael that stepped off of one?
I don't know, but there's you know, the report's supposed to be given to us next month of what the government knows about UFOs and stuff. Not what NASA knows, but what the military knows. So they've been leaking stuff out. You know what I mean? But, more and more is getting leaked out, and I see that like no one even pays attention. The news doesn't even. I mean, they cover it, but they're not like any like out of disbelief of it or anything. Just like, yeah, we already knew this and stuff.
Yeah.
But next month, something's supposed to come out. I think everybody's probably got their hopes up. It's going to be a big bombshell. I bet they don't tell you anything you haven't already known for 10 years.
No.
Aliens carry automatic pistols.
Yeah.
I did hear him say that the Pentagon released or the Navy released said that I'm not sure if they said off the coast of Georgia or off the coast of San Diego, but they're saying, you know, that's where a lot of these new films are coming from, you know, and they're saying that they have been encountering them every single day for 2 years.
Getting back to the Obama and Michael Obama thing, my wife, for the first time, finally saw that Joan Rivers clip where she's asked about if she thinks there's ever going to be a gay president, and she says, "Yeah, we already got one. His name's Barack Obama." And the reporter's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "What?" She looks at the reporter and says, "What do you mean? What do you mean, what? Don't you know that Michelle's a tranny?" That's still funny as hell. But my wife just saw that video clip for the first time the other day. She was rolling. Joan Rivers was a classic, man. She was a trip.
Yeah, right up until the time that they had her killed.
Yep. For saying that Michelle's a tranny. And she's like, "Oh wait, excuse me. I mean transsexual. Is that okay?" She's like, "Now it's okay." And she was being mean with the reporter too, which is the best part. She was being sarcastic as hell with this reporter. This comes up, walks up to her out of nowhere, and asks her if she thinks there's ever going to be a gay president. What the hell kind of nonsense is that, for crying out loud? You're talking to the woman other than Lucille Ball who kicked the door open in this country for women comedians, and that's the fucking question you're going to ask her? I mean, really?
What a first class reporter.
Mm-hmm. If you've never seen any of Joan Rivers' stand-up comedy stuff that she used to do back in the day, do yourself a favor and look it up. That woman was freaking hilarious.
Oh yeah. See, especially like if you could catch something that like wasn't on TV, or you know it was on a private network or something. She really gets out there on some things.
Oh yeah, she's like the white female version of Richard Pryor.
Yeah, she's so funny.
She wasn't out there telling vagina jokes and period jokes like some of these women comics are today. No, she was getting out there and she was tearing into some pretty heavy duty topics, and she's just as funny as Richard Pryor.
Stop that.
Stop what?
Don't give her that kind of, because she was not just as funny as Richard Pryor.
Oh yes, she was.
God, that's a farce, and you should be ashamed of yourself for saying something.
Hey, quit.
Joan Rivers was
Now
excellent.
who's a beta? Now who's being a beta male kingpin? Come on.
Joan Rivers was good for what she did, but classing her with Richard Pryor is.
Oh yeah, I will every day. I will put her right up there with Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
She did this almost the same kind of comedy. Different subject matter, but in the same. She was the female version of Pryor and Carlin. I mean, she was out there doing the same kind of comedy. She wasn't doing what you see females doing today.
Well, no, but there's no such thing as a good female comic. You had your very few. Your Joan Rivers, the old school, the classic old school female comedians. I mean, even Gilda Radner had her. She wasn't hilarious, but the way she did her comedy was funny. But all these comics that are female are not funny whatsoever. That's why even Joan Rivers was funny, but she's no Richard Pryor. She's no George Carlin, not even close.
You're just a sexist.
It's like my father always told me, Roseanna Dana, don't cry over spilled milk. Every dog has his day.
Lily Tomlin could be funny back in the day too, before she started doing all the lesbian shit.
I thought we were talking about female comics. What are you going to bring up Lily Tomlin?
I said before she started doing all the lesbian shit.
Is Bruce Jenner doing stand-up?
Well, no, he's
he
running for
probably
governor.
is, but I mean, is Bruce Jenner doing comedy?
No, he's running for governor.
That's the
Same damn thing.
yeah.
Stand
I
up
was waiting
comedy.
for somebody to say it. I mean, I was setting it up for that.
I hate to say it, but California is so bad that maybe Bruce Jenner is what they need.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally the best option they have right now for governor.
Yeah, they've got another guy running as a conservative that's not mentally distraught and emotionally destroyed.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a chance in hell of winning either.
Well, yeah, but he's the best candidate.
I'm not saying that Jenner's the best candidate. I said that he's probably the best chance. Because he's electable because people are going to vote for him just so they don't come across as transphobic.
Well, no, and there's a bunch of people who are going to think, haha, screw you, we're a bunch of conservatives, we're going to vote for the tranny and watch you talk trash about the tranny. And day one, they were attacking him because he said, men shouldn't be on the girls' football teams or whatever he said. So they've already thrown that out the window. We knew that they were hypocrites and they were going to attack him for being a tranny, even though they said
the media. Yeah, we're talking about the media, though.
And the politicians, and all the politicians, and all the movie stars, and all the basketball players.
But that's not the average voter in California. I mean, the average voter in California, I mean, they're sketchy.
I get it. But there's a bunch of progressives over there that are pissed off at their progressivism, so they're kind of looking at the conservative, and they're like, "Well, heck, if they got a transgender, we'll give them a chance." And then there's a bunch of hardcore not crazies in California that are like, "We're going to vote for Jenner because it's funny."
Yeah,
and that's stupid. I'd rather lose than allow a transgender to represent the conservative movement anywhere.
Yeah, well, California is Oz, okay? And I don't mean the prison. I mean, Dorothy, Yellow Brick Road, all that happy horse shit.
Lower taxes, less gun crime, and less gun balls, and less fun, and less not progressive, but do conservative things all on your platform, but you still think you're a woman? No, that's not. That doesn't ride with me.
No, I'm not saying that he's the best candidate. He has the best chance of beating Newsom in the recall, is what I'm saying.
Well, no, I agree. Sadly, I think that he's got an actual shot of winning which is going to be terrible.
Mm-hmm. No, it's going to be again. It's Oz out there. I mean, you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Once you cross that border,
There's a lot of base people in California, though. I was watching during the whole Trump thing, and a lot of Californians had them boat rallies and highway rallies and different stuff like that. There's a lot of people in California that are pissed off. Plus, like I said, there's a bunch of progressives that can't open their coffee shop anymore because there's bums sleeping and pooping in it.
yeah, yeah. And yet Nancy Pelosi can go get her hair done whenever she wanted, when everybody else was told, nope, can't do that.
Did you see all the extra money that California has right now?
Lots of every state is stacked with cash.
I mean, a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah,
You,
billions.
you paid them. You paid them, Jason.
Yeah.
All that overtime you did, paid for California and Michigan and Maryland and Texas and Wyoming and all of the states are swamped with that because they stole it from the federal government.
Yeah, he was loaded up with money, that Gavin Newsom out there, and he was throwing out these ideas of stimulus checks for the people there and giving all this money to the people and everything, But it was just a few months ago that they were doing this stuff up in Washington, and there was bunches of money in there, like all of us paying for a subway underground in San Francisco. You know what I mean? So all those high class millionaire big shots could go to work without seeing the homeless every day. Wanting us to pay for that, wanting us to pay for all kinds of stuff. And then here it turns out they got billions and billions in excess because they didn't spend it last year or whatever, and they want to give it away. If you have billions and billions of dollars like that, why can't you do something about your people? I mean, why can't you do something about homelessness?
Oh hell, look in New York.
And do something about the drugs and the homelessness and stuff instead of this bullshit. If they hadn't done a recall on him, he'd have never said a damn word about giving people stimulus checks.
Oh yeah, look at New York. Who does Cuomo want to give stimulus checks to? The illegals. He wants to give illegal aliens in New York State.
Oh yeah, they all do.
$15,000.
They want to give away money, not just like one check, like every month to people.
Oh yeah, Biden wants to give $7,500 a month to people that have kids.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Yeah, it sounds good, and yeah, there's some people out there that would vote for that, and have no brain in their head. But man, we can't sustain this. This is not how any society or government and people work. Work successfully. You can't just give away money that you don't have.
No.
We're in the middle of a fire sale. This 4 years is a fire sale. Or however long they let Joe Biden ride, whether it's 2 years and however long, it's a fire sale. And the reason that Cuomo wants to give Enrique, the illegal immigrant, $15,000 is because Cuomo is going to get about $7,000 of that money. Because he's going to skim $2,000 off the top. Then he's going to give it to an organization which is supposed to give it to Enrique, and that organization is going to kick back to Cuomo. And then Cuomo is going to guarantee that Enrique is going to buy a bunch of cheap street hot dogs, which he's going to tax at 50 cents extra this year for hot dogs on the street. So it's all just a big scheme. And right now, everything's for sale. Everything must go, and they got to do it as fast as they possibly can before we have a chance to stop them.
Man, we're delving into tomorrow night's territory here. How did we get down this rabbit hole?
Well, the corruption about the guy, the pedophile, that just strung the conversation through corruption. The fact that that pedophile is going to get away with it.
Well, that was how long ago. We've talked about other stuff since then.
Yeah, but every conversation about pedophiles leads to politics.
As they're all
Well, there's a reason for that. Epstein Island
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
By the way,
Who's the new guy under fire? Matt Gates.
the Epstein guards will not be charged in the
No, of course not.
falsifying documents for Epstein. By the way,
No, of course not.
Okay.
Why would they?
No, he's changing the rules now, man. Epstein wasn't a very nice guy, man.
No.
And we've had the same incidences here where I live. And, sometimes some things happen in consolatory confinement. And you just got to kind of look the other way, man. Go about your life. Sometimes things need to be done for the better good. Doesn't matter about the law or anything or any rules or policies. Sometimes things need to be done for the greater good of mankind. And you can agree with it or disagree with it, but it really doesn't matter because those bad people aren't here no more.
I don't think the wall that killed Jeffrey Epstein in his prison cell under the permission of the federal government of the United States. I don't really think that they were doing the greater good. I think they were just covering their butts. But I get your point, though.
No, they were covering the Clinton's butts.
Yeah, he was. They had to take care of him. But I'm just saying, in the same cell could be a pretty nasty bad guy, man, that deserves what he gets. Like the instance that comes to my mind around here was the Castro guy that was kidnapping girls and chaining them to poles and keeping them inside his house for 10 years and stuff.
Yeah, a dead giveaway. It was a dead giveaway.
Thankfully we didn't have to waste any time or trouble on a court case for him.
Pretty white girl coming up to me talking about dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Yeah, he had some justice bestowed upon him, and not a single bit of investigations or inquiries or nothing. And just sometimes, it sucks. It has to be that way sometimes.
Sometimes you just got to take a broom and shove it up somebody's ass.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just can't play games with evil, man. You just have to stomp it out.
Yeah, that's kind of my whole philosophy on most of the stuff that I complain about. And we turn a blind eye to it because that was a big deal. We got to be nice. We got to be cool.
No, like Sean Connery said in what was it? The Untouchables, be nice until it's time not to be nice.
That was Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse.
Yeah, I think both of them. I think said it.
That's plagiarism.
Yeah.
And that's Joe Biden again.
Yeah, that's Joe Biden. That was Joe Biden in '88. Come on, Jason, keep up. Yeah.
So what are we going to do about President Harris? We need to nip her in the bud right now.
Let's see. They tried impeaching Trump before he took, after he was out of the presidency. Can we impeach Harris before he's president?
Sure. Why not?
Well, we can impeach her from the VP spot. Then she can't ever be president anyway because she wouldn't hold that position anymore. But they would never go through with it.
No, you could do her like they tried Trump. You no longer be able to hold a title of distinction.
Well, there's more to it than that. That they would have to have impeached, then removed, and then they would have to have tried him again because that's part of the sentencing phase. So that even if they would have removed him from office, that doesn't automatically prevent him from running for another office. That's a whole other procedure that has to be done afterwards.
Kind of depends on how they dispatch Joe as well. Because Kamala is, I'm pretty sure she's street smart enough to be aware of the fact that she's got to sleep with both eyes open. And when she cuts Joe Biden's throat, however, she's got to do it quite gently and quite quietly because they're going to hold it against her as soon as they get the opportunity. Because they don't really want Kamala Harris as president either.
No. Is anybody else reminded of the movie My Fellow Americans with Jack Lemmon and James Garner? That's what this whole situation's reminding me of. Yeah,
Well, old Joe's giving him a lot of ammunition to remove him just for being senile and incompetent.
if you've never seen My Fellow Americans, it was James Garner and Jack Lemmon are both former presidents, and somehow they get caught up in a conspiracy. I don't remember how they get caught up in it, where you got it looks like the CIA trying to kill them on orders they think of the president. And it turns out it was the vice president that was orchestrating the whole thing to become president himself, and then he gets caught in the end, and he's removed from office, and the two of them decide that they're going to run because they're each one-term presidents. One runs as VP, and the other one runs as president. One was a Democrat, one was a Republican. They run together on the same ticket. It was at the end of the movie. But
Yeah, I think I remember that movie. Yeah.
Here's my prediction. And I thought it would have happened a little bit earlier, but then when I started looking at like the strategy behind it, I kind of changed my idea. But I figured Joe would have already caught the coof and gone bye-bye. But he still may catch the coof and then either step down or leave this plane of existence.
yeah, I thought they were in 25th Amendment and by now.
Well, here's even worse than them committing suicide and botched robbery with 3 shotgun blasts to the back of the head. Just imagine him sitting on the couch, watching TV, enjoying a nice, Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning because he put a little one, so he's going to take the rest of the day off. And Jill comes in with, sits a coffee cup down in front of him, snuggles up next to him, and starts dipping poison in his ear with Joe. You're really slowed up. You really need to just go ahead and step aside. You've done your part for the country. That's what's going to happen. That evil, horrible wife of his is going to sit there and poison him in his ear and talk him into stepping down.
Well, they're not done with Joe yet. He's been doing a real good job for him lately. He's doing exactly what they want. They're not going to destroy the economy. They're not going to destroy our foreign policy. They're not going to take the blame for running America in the ground. They're going to shove it all over on Joe Biden, and then they'll turn on him and get rid of him. And then everything the next day, everything that's bad in our employment and our jobs and our dollars value and all that, that'll all go right back to being Trump's fault. But yet they'll have this new plan to fix everything.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Kingpin.
No, I was just agreeing with Jason.
Okay, I was going to say, I think I'm going to cut the show here before we run out of anything to talk about tomorrow night. So, anything you want to say before we get out of here, Kingpin?
Nope.
Yeah, okay. What about you, Buck?
Thanks for the invite. And everybody stay safe.
Yep. Jason?
Yeah, thanks for the invite, man. I learned a lot about wrestling I didn't know. Thanks.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about wrestling, and you heard the promo earlier when the end of Rick's show. We talk a little bit about wrestling. Sometimes we go off on a tangent. Something will come up while we're in the process of talking about wrestling, and next thing you know, we're veered off in a completely 180 and going the opposite direction. But we did talk a little bit about it.
Tomorrow can be movies and cars.
No, we did that already. Now, tomorrow night we can talk about wrestlers who own firearms. We'll go back on the subject tomorrow night. Yeah, no, I have no idea what we're talking about tomorrow night. We'll figure something out. But For anybody out there, real quick, who's looking for a gun stand to display your AR-15 and potentially other short in the near future. Which ones he got now besides the AR-15? Was it the Ruger Mini 14 he had already?
The Smith & Wesson 22.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. I knew it was something. But if you look out there at the top of the YouTube chat, you'll find the pinned comment where click on that to go to rndldisplays.com and use code G23 and you'll get 15% off. See, Rob hasn't gotten me my own code yet for it, even though he said he was going to work on that. So I'm going to steal G23s for tonight because it was easier to spell than Rick's Life. But yeah, code G23 or code Rick's Life, whichever one you decide you want to use, will both get you 15% off. And they are a nice display. I have one. Does anybody else here on the panel have one?
Nope.
Nope, not yet.
You got one, Jason?
No, I would get one, but the honest fact of it is I have no place to like put it in display an AR.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I got room to like lean the AR up behind the door, but I have no workspace, desk space, wall space. I just don't have it.
Well, I got plenty of wall space now that my wife took everything down
Yeah.
off the walls.
I was
How
gonna
much is
say-
backing up?
I was going to say it comes with the wall mount.
Yeah, comes with the wall mount, comes with the table stand, so you get both. The magazine the faux wood magazine that it comes with works with both the wall mount and the table stand. So yeah, if you're looking for something to display your AR-15, be it the real AR-15 or the Smith & Wesson AR, what is it, AR, whatever, the one that's a 22. I always forget what the hell the name of it is, but yeah, go up there to click on that link and get yourself one of R&L displays. AR-15 stands.
You're fired as a
Yeah.
professional guy.
Yeah, dude. It's late.
That was
I
like
think
worse than Rick doing a promotion.
Yeah, it should have been like, look, man, everybody knows New York Outcast out there.
Yeah.
He's making some homemade custom display stands for your AR-15. He's got some other stuff coming on the way. It's not as easy as it sounds. He works real hard to make his own magazine insert and use your magazine catch to actually secure the rifle. So he's doing a lot of work on it, and they look pretty cool. So if you're looking for something like that, check out R&L Displays, and that's like RANDL Displays.
.com. And again, use code.
Oh yeah, you got to go www.
Well, no, you don't.
/http/us.gov-r.
No. Come on.
But you can
Go
Google
button.
R&L Displays.
But yeah, and remember, code G23 or code Rick's Life for 15% off. And remember, it's not dumb. It's not .com. It's not .gum. It's not whatever the hell else Joe Biden said. So it's .com, folks.
Text Joe to 330.
Anyway, we are out of here. We'll bid you adieu for tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night. Same bat channel, but not same bat time for This Week Unloaded. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern-ish. So, see ya.
Hook
Bye,
the leg.
everybody.
1, 2, 3.